Timeline is one of those entertaining movies that may not exactly be good, but a movie doesn't have to be good to be fun. A great example is the Michael Bay Transformers movies. Especially like the fifth one, you go like, oh, look, this is Anthony Hopkins. He's speaking in his British accent. Oh, look at that! Look at that! There's a giant robot right there. He's being all fighting and shooting and stuff like that. Oh, there's this bigger one. Oh, and this other one could turn into a dinosaur. Isn't that cool? Oh, look, this whole planet's a big robot. Oh, it's so cool. It's one of those movies where you have to turn your brain off. You turn your brain off and you just shove popcorn into your mouth and you go, this is fun. This is fine. Me, I personally don't really care for popcorn. I used to eat it, but I don't like how it gets in your teeth all the time. So I don't eat popcorn anymore, but I still enjoy fun popcorn movies. And Timeline is one of those bad popcorn movies that gets you entertained. It's an entertaining movie. Now, this is a Richard Donner film, the Superman man dude, and, this isn't as good as Superman, obviously, but it is pretty fun. There are some questionable casting choices, however, like Paul Walker here. Paul Walker has a surfer dude accent. He's all American as heck, and his father is Uncle Monty from the Lemony Snicket series of Unfortunate Events, the Jim Carrey movie version. I forget the man's name. He's a comedian. He's very funny. He's got Scottish, and he's a very entertaining man. And then we have Gerard Butler, also Scottish, and they're letting him use his Scottish accent. I watch a lot of Gerard Butler movies, and they rarely let the man use his accent. They rarely let him use it. They rarely let him speak with his Scottish accent. I think the 300 movie had him use his accent. I'm not exactly sure. But most movies don't let him use his Scottish accent. It's such a shame. It's a very good accent. In fact, if you want my opinion, I would swap these two characters out. I would say he should be Uncle Monty's son, and Paul Walker should probably be written out of the movie or replaced by somebody else. Like, maybe you could have him be a different character completely, but then we have two female characters, and one of them can be completely written out of the story. It's just, I don't know what they were doing, writing-wise. They're trying to do an ensemble story, but this ensemble story doesn't exactly work as well as they hope. You see, let me try to remember all of the people who were in this movie. We have Gerard Butler, who kept his Scottish accent. He plays an archaeologist man working for Paul Walker's father, for Uncle Monty, and he's very fascinated with history and all that stuff, and Paul Walker is not interested in history at all. One of my favorite moments of this movie, and it actually has some good moments, one of my favorite moments is where Gerard Butler takes Paul Walker aside. He shows them this sarcophagus. It's this dig that they're doing. It's half dug up. The stone statue sarcophagus lid is of two people. They were buried together and indicated they were married and all that stuff. And Gerard Butler's all like, they didn't do that back then. And I'm wondering, who are they? What is their story? And then Paul Walker starts asking Gerard Butler a bunch of questions. And Gerard Butler's like, now see, why you're asking me those? And Paul goes like, well, I guess I'm curious. And then Gerard Butler goes like, yeah, you'll see, that is exactly why we do this. We want to know about these people. We want to know their stories. We want to uncover this history and learn about where we came from. And it's a good little analogy. It's a good little scene. I liked it a lot. And then there's other characters. We have a French character. I can't remember his name. Georgie, I think. Then there's Specs Dude. He doesn't go back in time. Yes, there's time travel in this, by the way. Then there's Girlfriend Dude, Girlfriend Girl, who is the girlfriend of Paul Walker, and she works with Uncle Monty. She's American. She has the American accent and all that stuff. Gerard Butler's the only one who's got his Scottish accent. There's also that one dude. I don't know if he's going to be on the back. He's not, unfortunately. I don't remember his name, but if you remember the movie Walking Tall with The Rock, the remake Walking Tall with The Rock, the guy who played the bad guy in that, who tends to play the bad guy in a lot of movies, I completely forget his name. You know me, I am terrible with names. I'm great with faces, but that doesn't do F all when you don't know their names. But I know this guy's face. I can see it in my head right now. I can even hear what he's saying. I just don't know his name. I'm terrible with names. Absolutely terrible with names. But that guy from Walking Tall with The Rock, the bad guy, he's in this movie. And he plays some corporate dude. He's not necessarily the bad guy, but he's a coward. And he ends up being the catalyst that creates the bad guy in the movie. Now, what's this whole story shtick about? Well, while Gerard Butler and Paul Walker are talking about their history lesson, the lady friend goes and uncovers a tomb in a chapel, a buried ruins of a chapel, and they find the underground tunnels of this chapel, and they find a wall with writing, modern-looking writing, but it's 600 years old. And so they go down there and they say, "That's my father's handwriting," Paul says. And that says, "That's impossible. This has to be a joke." And they're like, and Gerard and the other lady are like, "No, this is 600 years old. This is impossible." And then a big chopper helicopter comes in with a bunch of guys in suits, and they say, "Come with us, people, archaeologist people. We need your help to find Paul Walker's father, Uncle Monty." And then they all get into the helicopter. They go to the company. What company? Who cares? And they go to the military complex. What military? Who cares? And they go in there. And the guy who plays Remus Lupin in the Harry Potter movies, I don't know his name either. I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible. And they didn't let him keep his English accent, unfortunately. He has to use an American one. But Remus Lupin's actor is in this, and he's the head of this company. And he says that they're developing a machine that can do teleportation. But by accident, complete accident, the teleportation machine does teleport you, but it only will teleport you back in time to the year 1350-something on a specific day, right? And so they have to go back in time, and they have to find Uncle Monty. And so the whole crew gets together: Gerard Butler, Paul Walker, the girlfriend, Georgie, the French guy, the villain dude from the Walking Tall movie, and two other nameless mooks who buy it as soon as they get back in time. So they go back in time, and two people die right away. The rest of the team splits up. Gerard Butler ends up meeting this local French woman, because it goes back in time to France, by the way, 1350s France, when England is during the 100 Years' War and all that crap. And so they're during that, and the English are hunting them down, and Gerard Butler is getting sweet on the local French woman. He doesn't even know who she is, but he later finds out that she is Lady Claire, who is supposedly like some sort of French noble lady, royalty practically. And yeah, he's like, "Wow, I'm in love with Lady Claire." And it doesn't really respect timey-wimey, obviously, because how could you? This is not meant to be a thinking person's movie. Why would you put thinking person's concepts into a movie that's not made to be thought about? I mean, that's just doing the wrong thing here. So there's none of that timey-wimey stuff. It's all a bunch of very loose things. It's even looser than Back to the Future. Way looser than Back to the Future. So Gerard Butler's doing his romance thing there. Paul Walker does nothing in the movie. He and his girlfriend run around. They hide. They find the chapel. They blow open the basement of the chapel, and the archaeologist lady girlfriend realizes, oh, I did that. I must have done this in the past. This is why the thing was ruined. And so they just pull a Bill and Ted and say, hey, what if we were the ones who went back in time and did this stuff, man? And so they went back and so they end up causing the very signs that they uncovered in the present. And you can obviously expect to find out what happened there. Gerard Butler ends up being the man in the sarcophagus that he digs up with Lady Claire. He was the one who married Lady Claire and is buried with Lady Claire. And it's kind of paradoxical and all that, but either way, Michael Sheen's in this. He's very fantastic. He's very charming. He's very fun. He plays the English commander dude who's in charge of the English army in this region. And he ends up capturing Gerard Butler, Paul Walker, and all the rest. And he goes like, what are you, who? And then Gerard says, well, I'm Scottish. And Michael Sheen goes like, well, that's unfortunate for you. I'm at war with the Scottish. And then Georgie's like, well, I've been at war with the French too, obviously. And anybody else I'm at war with? Italy, Spain? He just keeps making casual remarks about all the countries that he's at war with. And so Gerard Butler and everybody else gets captured and thrown into a cell area where they find Uncle Monty. They escape, and shenanigans ensue. I don't want to follow the entire plot. I want to explain the entire plot to you. It's a fun movie. It's kind of like that movie Tristram and Isolde, the one with James Franco. That one's not exactly, but it's fun. Fun. You know, fun. Remember fun. Having fun. Watching things for fun. And laughing at complete absurd comments and quotes. It's completely absurd. This is Braveheart with a 21st century twist. Gerard Butler never even cries freedom, obviously. There are a lot of casting things here. I say you could wipe Paul Walker and his girlfriend completely from the storyline and just keep it as Gerard Butler as Uncle Monty's son. Since they're both Scottish, they both have Scottish accents, it works perfectly fine. So he's the one that goes back to find his father and meets the French girl, falls in love with the French girl, and they teamed up to save France from the English and save his father. And then the father gets sent back to the present, which is the future, the past's future, and Gerard Butler decides to stay behind with the French princess to marry her. It's all very fairy tale-esque. If you cut down the cast and keep it a little bit more tighter, I think this would have been a much better, concise movie. You don't really need to cut the runtime down too much, but you just need to cut out a couple of the characters. I like Paul Walker, I do. I just feel like he's very misplaced here. He's not an archaeologist. He really offers nothing here other than being the son of the man who got sent back in time, being the son of Uncle Monty. He may have learned to appreciate history after this trip, but he really has no purpose being here. And it's kind of like the Pedro Pascal effect. Yeah, that's the modern phrase of saying it. The Pedro Pascal effect is basically what happens when you put a person into a movie just so somebody could go, I know that guy. I know that guy. That's basically all it is. Paul Walker gets put in here so somebody could go, I know that guy. And they'll watch the movie because he's in it. It's not exactly proper casting. Personally, if you ask me, I would cast based on who is right for the role, not on who would recognize a person in it, the actor in it. I want the story and the proper casting to be the proper marketability, rather than, oh, look, it's Paul Walker, or, oh, look, it's Pedro Pascal. No, I don't want to do any of that. Either way, Timeline is a very fun movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you will, but if you like bad drive-in movies, give it a look.